Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mr. Cabot. I was fortunate enough to head this project, the filming of Uncommon Women and Others by Wendy Wasserstein, and next week's presentation of Anton in Show Business by Jane Martin. I'd like to take a moment to thank some folks. First of all, a very special thank you to Ms. Perlman, who championed this project, and without whose support and help, we never would have been able to accomplish what we were able to accomplish. Thank you, Ms. Perlman. I would like to thank Mr. Topol from the Production Technology Department for his help in putting together our virtual backgrounds and lending his eye occasionally. And I would especially like to thank Mr. Howard from Production Technology for his unbelievable hard work at filming and editing and working with our students and with his students to create a really unique opportunity for us. Thank you, Mr. Howard. I would also like to individually thank our student technicians, Zoe Walsh, who was our tremendous stage manager, competent, efficient, pleasant at all times, and our camera and lighting operators, Chloe Jose, Duncan Dockstader, Emma Reintz, Eliana Moore, and Avery Custer, who went above and beyond in their work. And I must say that they remained calm. They were so efficient, extremely conscientious, very professional, and every minute of every day pleasant. And it made the whole experience just beyond anything I could have imagined. So thank you. And finally, to the cast and your children, parents, and friends of these students, we're doing this play, Uncommon Women and Others, and we're doing it with a group of extraordinary actors. Actors who are independent, intelligent, giving, caring, dedicated, extremely self-disciplined, and what is so important to me, above all else, funny. A very funny, fun group of people to be around. So thank you, actors, and thank you, parents, for sharing your students with me. It's been a tremendous semester. And now I'm going to turn it over to our two student co-hosts. First, Rafi Caratino.
Thank you. I remember that just at the beginning of this year, I was having a conversation with Natalie about how much I'd love to do an all-female cast play, something with witty dialogue and a range of topics that were not limited to conversations about being boy crazy. And this was, of course, before we even knew we were going to get a senior play. Fortunately, we did, and fortunately, it's been like nothing we'd ever done before. Props to Mr. Cabot for finding a play that is so genius, so timeless, and so incredibly underrated. The rich content is completely adaptable, and I can find an infinite number of things to relate to with each and every one of these characters, especially my own. I play Muffet, a girl who is confused about where her life is headed, but always somehow is able to reassure herself that she'll make it no matter what. Muffet is the epitome of wit and the only character I've ever played that I know I will take a few meaningful life lessons away from. She is that internal cheerleader I've always wanted and needed to get through the toughest of times. I hope that you can all find the qualities of Muffet you most like today and allow them to carry you throughout the day. And we worked really hard on this play for the past few months, so I hope you all enjoy. And I'm going to hand it off to Natalie.
All right, so as Rafi touched on, it has been amazing to have the opportunity to do this play, especially with such an influential playwright like Wendy Wasserstein. So I wanted to talk a little bit about her. So this play was presented as her thesis at Yale for her MFA, and it would eventually go on to do an off-Broadway run starring Glenn Close, and then it was made into a TV movie starring Meryl Streep as Layla. After this, Wendy Wasserstein would go on to be the first woman playwright to have her play win Best Play as an independent writer, not as part of a team. So it was just her play, and it won Best Play. And that play was called The Heidi Chronicles. So this play has not only been fun to act in just because Wendy Wasserstein is such a witty, smart, introspective playwright, it's also been amazing just to get to see a different historical perspective, because this play takes place at Mount Holyoke, and Wendy Wasserstein went to Mount Holyoke, so it's clear she's drawing a lot of parallels from her life and her classmates' lives, and it's been amazing just to dive into that different historical perspective. Lastly, I'd like to thank the senior class. I don't know how many of you guys are here since it's senior skip day, but you guys have just been amazing to work with the past 4 years. You guys are funny, you're smart, you're kind. You've just made Kappa such a great experience for me. And I know you guys are going to go on to do amazing things. This play has been so fun with you guys, just getting to see you guys again. I missed all the jokes we'd told and all of that fun stuff. So I'm just glad we've had this opportunity, and thank you. And I know you guys are going to go on to do amazing things.
The college produces women who are persons in their own rights, uncommon women, who, as individuals, have the personal dignity that comes with intelligence, competence, flexibility, maturity, and a sense of responsibility. This can happen without the loss of gaiety, charm, or femininity. Through its long history, the college has graduated women who help make this a better, happier world, whether their primary contributions were in the home or the wider community. In advocations or vocations, their roles have been constructive. The college makes its continuing contribution to society in the form of its graduates, whose intellectual quality is high and whose responsibility to others is exceptional.
Oh, Holly, it's so nice to see you.
Oh, you too, Samantha. You changed your hair.
Yeah, I didn't want to look like Jean Shrimpton anymore.
Katie, how long are you in town for?
I don't know. I'm here on a Women in Law conference.
Oh my.
Very grown up, huh? I'm now the young spokesperson at all the obligatory boring occasions.
Oh, how's Robert?
Oh, he's good. He was just cast in a TV pilot. He plays the male ingenue, but he's worried because his hairline is receding.
Holly, I forgot to tell you, Rita's coming down from Vermont.
Oh.
She told Samantha she had a 6-year itch to see us all again.
Did you know that Muffy said Rita was so fat at her wedding that she couldn't even walk down the aisle? She had to be lowered to the altar by a crane. I don't believe that.
Ugh, Rita was a rotunda. It was pathetic when the orchestra played More Than the Greatest Love the World Has Known. She must sit in bed and eat bonbons all day.
Gross me out, Muffet.
Gross me out. Holly Pumpkin, I like your hair. Kate, did you really have to bring your attaché to the restaurant? I mean, Washington isn't that far away. I wish you'd come into town more often.
Muffet, I'm a very important person now.
Don't you still sneak trashy novels?
I'm proud of you, Katie, when Jacqueline Suzanne died.
Did you know that she had a buttocks enhancement? Eva LaGallia told Robert when he was touring in Cactus Flower.
Samantha, only you would call an ass lift a buttocks enhancement.
Who's Eva LaGallian?
She wasn't our year.
Kate, how's Ike?
Well, he still loves me, and Mother still asks about him, but
And what's his name? The revolutionary?
he left the bookstore and finished law school. He loves me too. Muffet, this is adolescent. I've become a feminist.
Well, Alice Harwich got out of medical school to form a lesbian rock band.
Gross me out! Does she sleep with women?
I guess so. They live together.
So what? I've taken a stand on birth control pills. I won't be manipulated by the pharmaceutical establishment.
Oh, you're not a masochist.
Yes, I am. I'm an insurance seminar hostess.
Muffy, why don't you go to graduate school?
Holly, not all of our fathers invented Velveteen and can afford to send us to 3 different graduate schools. What degree are you on now? History, design, or literature? I can never keep track.
History.
Holly's embarrassed. You know I didn't mean it. You know you're my best. In fact, the one thing I miss in Hartford is having women friends. Did you guys read in the alumni magazine that Nina Mandelbaum, now a landscape architect, got married twice to the same pediatric pulmonary specialist? They had a small wedding in Mexico and then a huge religious ceremony in New York. Now, why Mexico? Do you think he went to medical school in Guadalajara?
My parents got a hold of that magazine and offered to fly me down there if I thought he had any friends.
Did you know that KK Phelps is teaching at Yale?
Stop.
Wait, wasn't she one of the people who was with her horse the day of the Cambodia strike? And isn't her real name Caroline? Why does she insist on everyone calling her KK? Katie, wasn't KK a friend of Layla's?
I don't know. I really didn't know Layla's friends very much. Do you ever think it's odd that none of us have children? I mean, I know we're the uncommon bell curve and all, but I still think it's odd. I can't decide if I want any.
Don't worry. Nina Mandelbaum will bud for all of us. There's a good genetic pool and pediatric pulmonary specialist. So, where's Rita?
I don't understand what Rita's doing. She's a smart girl.
So what, we're all smart girls?
It's a sexist society.
I don't have any trouble.
Kate, you don't know what trouble is. You were born in Holiday magazine.
Really? What does Rita do all day?
Nothing.
Gross me out.
Samantha! Hi! Yay! Holly! Hi! Muffet! Hi! Kate? Hi!
I just called Timmy.
Oh, he loves you. No, he waits on you.
I told you I always wanted a wife.
Oh.
Hey! I've been getting more into women's things, and I've been reading Doris Lessing, and I think when I finally get it together, I'm going to have a great novel.
Rita, how are you getting it together doing nothing?
I'm getting into my head. Kate, I want to hear more about your law firm. I think we need more women's lawyers and gynecologists. I don't go to mine anymore because he's a man, and besides, I heard he had a twin.
Oh, but Rita, you really should get a regular checkup.
Samantha, what's it like being married to Robert?
We're very happy.
I had to train mine. I wanted him to become my Leonard Wolf. Got a match with it?
You know, I was going to join a women's group, but then I couldn't decide what to take. Macrame, bread baking, or consciousness wrap.
You know, I saw a Betty Davis movie once, and the third one on the match dies. Oh, I didn't upset you, Holly, did I, sweetheart?
No, that was entirely planned on my part. You know, I hate the women's movement. I wrote a letter to Ms., and Noel Shorts sent me back a personal note saying I was a heretic to the sisterhood. And I ask you, is Holly Kaplan that different from Noel Shorts? And her telling me about the sisterhood.
She has problems.
Don't worry, Holly. I think when we make it to 40, we'll all be incredible.
Rita, when we were graduating, you told us by 30.
Well, at least at college they appreciated us.
No, they didn't. You hated it.
Well, at least we appreciated us.
I wish I was back there.
Well, that says something about the quality of your life.
Kate is already incredible.
I don't think I appreciated women then as much as I do now.
Kate, you just lacked imagination.
Now, Carter, for example, was incredibly bright.
Now, Carter, for example, was a catatonic.
Want to make an announcement? What?
We're getting out of the way. Now let's all pretend we're in the dining room.
Announcement!
Seniors and anybody who will be attending graduation, we need singers on Upper Lake Commencement Eve, both on shore and in canoes. We'll be singing show tunes and special attraction Love Look Away from Flower Drum Song. And of course, alma mater, questions call
Susie Greg!
Holly, what's wrong?
Oh, I just can't stand to hear announcement. It always makes me feel as if someone is going to walk out of one of those pastel living rooms from Better Homes and tell me to take my feet off the furniture. Deal.
welcome all you girls to tea this year. I'm Mrs. Plum, house mother of North Stimson Hall. Dear, take your feet off the table. The Tea Fund was established by Lucy Valerie Bingsby, class of 1906, after whom a Vermont orchid bog was recently dedicated by Governor Huff as the Lucy Valerie Bingsby Wildflower Sanctuary. I think you girls will find the tea here very comfy. I knew Lucy. I never cared for her much. I hope you all have a good year. Ooh, there's a bit of a draft in here. If you have any questions or suggestions, please knock at my door at any time except after 8 p.m. Although I'm not needed to sign overnight slips anymore, I'm still interested in all my girls. I thought before the end of tea I'd read for you since I've always enjoyed oral interpretation. My friend, Dr. Ada Grutter, class of 1928, organized a theater at the Christian Medical College in Nagpur, India. She begs me to visit, but I don't like long trips, and anyway, it's so pleasant here, especially in the fall. Those cookies look lovely. What are they? Shortbread? I'd like to read from the poetry of Emily Dickinson, class of 1850. To those of you who are familiar with this reading, please bear with me. Contrary to rumor, I didn't know Emily. She never accepted visitors. The heart is the capital of the mind. The mind is a single state. Heart and mind together make a single continent. One is the population, numerous enough. This ecstatic nation. Seek, it is yourself. Please take your teacups to the long table at the end of the room when you leave. Oh, why doesn't someone close that window? There's still a draft in here.
The real problem for many educated women is the difficulty they have in recognizing whether they have been a success. Women will be part-time mothers, part-time workers, part-time cooks, and part-time intellectuals. When scholars point out that the best cooks have always been men, the proper answer is, but what man has not only been the second best cook, but the third best parent, the seventh best typist, and the 10th best community leader? Just like the pot of honey that keeps renewing itself, an educated woman's capacity for giving is not exhausted, but stimulated by demands.
I am so tired. Why doesn't someone just take me away from all this? Did you ever notice how walking to Samantha's room is like walking into a clean sheet? She and Susie friends celebrate Piglet's birthday. Kitty says you're very bright. Did I tell you what happened in Chip Knowles' women's history class today? Do you know Chip Knowles? He always wears chamois shirts and boat shoes from L.L. Bean. You can never find anything you want in those L.L. Bean catalogs. So I just order a decoy duck every year. It makes me feel waspy. Chip's wife, Libby, graduated first in her class from Vassar. When I told Chip I was a senior and didn't know what I'd be doing next year, Chip told me that Libby doesn't really spend the day mopping and catching tadpoles with Chip Jr. She may be mopping with her hands, but with her mind, she's reliving the water imagery on the Fairy Queen. Anyway, I thought women's history would be a gut, and it wouldn't look as obvious on my record as marriage and the family. As it turns out, this class isn't half bad. We read all the basics. The womb, penis, inner and outer space nonsense, feminine mystique, sexual politics, Mabel Dodge's diary. Chip Knowles says women's history is relevant. Do you think women will lose their relevancy in 5 years? Like, Car 54, where are you? Anyway, after 2 months of reading about suffragettes and courageous choices, this French dish comes into class dressed in a tight turtleneck and skirt. And you know how for seminar breaks everyone brings in graham crackers? Well, this chick brings in homemade pinafores, and she stands in front of the class and tells us that she is not prepared to report on Rosie the Riveter because you girls are wasting your time. You should do more avec what you have down here than avec what you have up here. And in less than 5 seconds, the entire class is giving her a standing ovation. Everyone is applauding. Except Holly and Rita, who grabbed the pinafores and ran out of the room in protest. I didn't really do anything. You know, I felt so confused. I mean, this chick is an obvious imbecile, but I didn't think she was entirely wrong either. I guess the truth is, men are very important to me. Well, not more important than you and Holly and Samantha. Well, not always, Pumpkin. Sometimes I know who I am when I feel attractive. Other times it makes me feel shallow, like I'm not Rosie the Riveter. Oh, I suppose this isn't a very impressive sentiment, but I'd really like to meet my prince, or maybe a few princes. And I wouldn't give up being a person, you know? I'd still remember all the art history dates. I just don't understand why suddenly I'm supposed to know what I want to do with my life. I guess I should think about sleeping with someone tonight to pass the time. Ugh. Except it's always creepy in the morning. Well, Rita doesn't think so, but Rita's promiscuous. I'm not promiscuous. I just hate going to bed alone. Maybe you could sleep on my floor sometime. It's funny. You're a freshman and we're all seniors. I'm not even worried about next year. I just have to make sure something happens to me. Muffet!
Oh, hi, Carter.
Muffet? I'm in love! With whom?
Robert Cave. I just met him last night and I thought this is the one I want. He's handsome and he's talented and he's better than me and he'll love me. You'll see. I want to be his audience and have my picture behind him in my long tartan kilt in the Time, Arts, and Leisure section.
Well, Samantha, that's nice. Samantha, how come I haven't met my Heathcliff yet?
Oh, Muffy, you wouldn't want him. They never settle down. Her soul wandered the moors for years. There's no security in that. You want someone who's good for you.
Maybe. Actually, I don't mind being alone. I like being strong like Rosie the Riveter.
I know, Muff. You're just more capable than me. Wanna go for a drive?
Sure. Bye-bye, Carter.
Bye, Carter.
Oh, Carter, I'll be back in around an hour or so why don't you come up then and we can talk some more.
Although the attitude of society to education for women has changed in the last century and a quarter, the intellectual curiosity and hard work and spirit of adventure are still characteristic of Mount Holyoke. Mary Lyon, sending her early students out across the plains and seas as teachers and missionaries, said, "Go where no one else will go. Do what no one else will do." Some of her 25,000 daughters have blazed new trails, like Frances Perkins, Secretary of Labor under President Roosevelt. Others found adventure near at hand. Emily Dickinson went home. Today, thousands of alumni and students are serving their families and communities with generosity and imagination, leading lives that enrich those they touch, ready to meet the unknown with steadiness and gaiety.
Hi, Carter! I have a message for you from your elf. You see,
Every freshman has a junior sister and a secret senior elf to help them through. That's right, it's your elf who's been leaving candy in your milk and napkin boxes and all the other treats. And they'll fix you up on the weekend, and that's real neat. It's fun to see all the girls at Milk and Crackers too. And try to guess which one belongs to you. Don't you just love Mrs. Plum? Fall teas are such fun when she brings apricot brandy. Real yum! But every night, the kitchen help brings milk, crackers, tea, and sometimes fluff for you. You should really come sometime, Carter. It's a true study break from me and my thesis on Claude Levi-Strauss. Anyway, I'm just the messenger here, and I can't say who your elf is, but I think they found you a mail caller. Hip hooray! See you later.
For our Carter, no one's smarter. Your elf has a surprise, so open your eyes. Kanga and Rue have a Yale blue for you. A terrific date, he can't wait. We'll double at the game, but I won't be to blame if he's a little odd or a bit of a scrod. Hair by Thursday must be washed for the trip. It wouldn't hurt to give the split ends a snip. Tonight's the night it must be done. I'm sudsing with KK and Jill in number 1. Some Hershey's Kisses and best wishes. Bring a hot water bottle. See you at Milk and Crackers. Lovin's, your elf. Gross me out.
To profit most fully from the undergraduate curriculum, a student should examine for herself not only the nature of her academic interests, but also her conception of the good life and the kind of community she would like to fashion.
She remembered the way Melissa Blaine, with her perfect cameo face, had smiled up at Lance. "Yes," she said, "I'm sure you've had most of the desirable women in this town, but I don't want to be among them." "Well then, I think it's time I changed your mind," Lance said. Suddenly, Lance's hand slid to the back of her gown. With one strong arm, he pinned her to his chest, so that, try as she might, she could not push him away. He deftly unfastened the buttons of her gown as if he had had long practice in performing such actions. "What are you doing? I'm not one of your strumpets!"
Kate? Oh, you're busy.
"I was just reading Genealogy of Morals."
How was dinner?
"Layla, I don't understand why you never come. Even Susie Friend has been asking for you."
I came in to get the Nietzsche assignment.
"Layla, you don't think I'm a good person, do you?"
Kate, you're a very good person.
"Then why don't you ever come in here just to visit instead of always asking for the assignment?" "Layla, we roomed together for 3 years, and now I never see you anymore." "You're angry about last year in Greece, aren't you?"
That wasn't your fault.
"I felt badly for you when both Ike and Thomas fell in love with me." "Layla, sometimes I think I should apologize to you, and other times I don't exactly know what I should apologize for. I haven't done anything deliberately to hurt you."
I know.
"What are you going to do next year?" "I don't know what's going to happen if I don't get into law school."
Kate, you won't hear until April. It's only November.
"Well, I'm Phi Beta Kappa, but I'm worried about my law boards." "Oh, Leah Pumpkin, don't worry. You'll be Phi Beta by June, in time for graduation." "And just think, you could be Muffet, or Samantha, or, God forbid, Rita." "What are they going to do with their lives? At least you and I aren't limited."
Did I tell you that I applied to anthropology graduate school?
"Why aren't you continuing in philosophy?"
I really like anthropology. I want to visit small towns in Iraq. Look, I've made a list of Mesopotamia jokes.
"Layla, things aren't going to get better for you in Iraq. You don't have to make yourself exotic. You're a smart, pretty girl. And besides,
If you can't leave your room in South Hadley, how are you going to get along in Iraq?
Just fine. Kate, do you have the assignment? I have more reading to do.
You always have more reading to do. I'm sorry. Let's talk about something else, like when we were roommates, okay? Layla, what do you know about clitoral orgasms?
Well, just that my gentleman friend, Mr. Pearson, says that they're better than others.
I wonder if I've had any.
Kate, I'm sure you have. It's a fad.
I never thought I had a problem.
Why don't you ask Rita?
Rita's fucked up. Layla, are you leaving philosophy because I'm 5'8" and you're not? That's stupid. The department likes you as much as me.
Kate, I know you're trying. It's just, I don't know. I want to get out of here. I don't want to think about this place anymore. Kate, do you have the assignment?
Read the last 2 chapters of the Genealogy of Morals. Look, Layla, I'm sorry. I really am, but it's not my fault. You're always predisposed against me.
Kate, are you going to Milk and Crackers? I'll see you later.
Layla, did you know Holly used to pick up men on the Yale Green when she was a sophomore? She had clitoral orgasms, but that was a long time ago.
That's probably why she gets along with Rita. They have that in common.
Layla, that's nasty.
Some of us have hidden potential, Kate. Bye, Katie.
I think I'm going to ask Carter to join us for Milk and Crackers. I think she's very bright. It's been a long time since we've had someone new to talk to in this house. Around 3 years.
Am I saying that anatomy is destiny? No, it's not destiny. Providing a setting in which these subtle constraints may be overcome is particularly the mission of a college for women.
Holly, you've got enough ortho cream in here to sleep with the entire SS Constitution.
The instructions say 2 teaspoonfuls, so I wanted to see what it was like with a little extra. I don't want to bud. Now that I have one of these things, whenever I see a boy with a yarmulke, I think he has a diaphragm on his head. I shouldn't have said that. I'll be struck down by a burning bush.
Who are you going to use this thing with?
I don't know. I just got it because it made me feel grown up. I can tell my friends about the time I got a diaphragm. Doesn't matter. I hate sex.
Holly, life doesn't offer you that many pleasures, so you can't go around avoiding the obvious ones.
What kind of pleasure? There's someone on top of you sweating and pushing, and you're lying there pretending this is wonderful. That's not wonderful. That's masochistic.
But it can be your conquest, Pumpkin. This is distorted.
Rita, you're manipulative.
Layla, I'm not manipulative. Ugh. Our entire society is based on male approval. On the other hand, I want abandonment. I want to do with everything. Dogs, cats, trees, bushes, light bulbs, shoeboxes, ashtrays.
Don't you want some attachment, Rita? You know, some love?
From a man?
Then why were you with Clark?
He's a wonderful lover.
Clark is a homosexual.
He's creative. In fact, I've had enough of those macho types. After I slept with Jack Hall, he shook my hand and said thank you. And Chip Knowles finished in 60 seconds.
Really? Chip Knowles? I guess Libby was too busy with the Fairy Queen.
Rita, don't you want the basis of your relationship to be, you know, some mutual understanding?
Layla, you're beautiful. You can.
Rita, you're much more beautiful than I am.
Listen, Layla, our entire society is based on men. The New York Times, Walter Cronkite, all the cities, roads, buildings, philosophy, government, history, religion, shopping malls. Everything I can name is male. And honestly, when I see things this way, it becomes obvious that it's easy to feel alienated and alone for the simple reason that I came into the world without a penis. Therefore, it is my duty to take advantage. Did I ever tell you about the time that I left Johnny Nelson lying there after I had an orgasm and he had it? It was hilarious! And anyway, Layla, no one will ever do for me what they'll do for you or Kate or even Samantha. Therefore, I have to take advantage. It is my moral imperative. Anyways, I've got to go. I'm auditioning for Clark. He's directing a production of Another Part of the Forest. Forest? Trees? Logs? Pine cones? Leaves? Elks?
No, I think she's wrong about shopping malls. Sometimes I think we have too much external and too little internal input. It's disturbing having somebody with everyone's point of view. Oh, I guess I better put thing away.
Do you know the first time I ever learned anything about diaphragms or sex was from reading the graph? I remember when I was like 12 years old, pulling it off of my parents' library shelf and reading the paragraphs about Dottie leaving her diaphragm on Washington Square. It was quite titillating. And I mean, my parents didn't mind. They were happy I was showing early interest in the Seven Sisters schools.
Lay, I want to tell you something, but I was embarrassed too in front of Rita.
How could you be embarrassed in front of Rita? She's so embarrassing.
I called someone in Minneapolis today, and I hung up. I hung up twice.
Who was it?
This doctor I met with Muffet last summer. I thought I'd visit him over Christmas vacation. That's really why I bought thing here.
I don't really know if you should see a friend of Muffet's.
No, Muffet doesn't know him either. We just met him once at a museum. I could tell he liked me. He kept smiling at my legs. I'm very attractive from my kneecap to my ankle.
I guess I'm going to be spending my winter vacation with my gentleman friend, Mr. Peterson. Katie thinks he's boring.
He's not boring. I didn't want to talk to Minneapolis because I was afraid I'd start giggling, be self-effacing, and then I'd start wishing I was Kate or Rita.
Holly, you can't keep wishing that you're someone else. You'll be smothered.
You know, sometimes I'd like to clean out my desk and I want to go out and I want to say, I'm respectable. I'm a respectable grown-up. And other times, I want to jump in a paper bag and shake and bake myself to death.
This is my favorite song in high school. Senior year, I sent it to a boy who was hitchhiking across the country. I printed it on the back of a Vermeer postcard from the Chicago Art Institute. It was the only time I've ever written without capitals or punctuation. I also liked the Dave Clark 5 a lot in 9th grade. I thought I could marry one of them because they were more accessible than the Beatles.
My best was Leonard Cohen. When I was in high school, I wanted to go down on Lake Suzanne with the garbage and the seaweed. Then I found out he had a thing with Joni Mitchell. There's only so much wistfulness one can stomach.
I've tasted my menstrual blood.
Rita, gross me out.
Jermaine Greer says the test of a truly liberated woman is tasting your menstrual blood.
Rita, that's dribble.
She also says that women shouldn't wear underwear.
Who told you that?
Robert.
Robert, what does he know about it? I think all men should be forced to menstruate. John Glenn, Baba Ramdas, Robert S. McNamara, all of them except for James Taylor, we'll spare him. But I think all of them should be forced to answer phones on a white Yaga High receptionist chair with a cotton lollipop stuck at their crotch.
Why spare James Taylor? Samantha, Robert says I'm a closet wit.
The problem with menstruation for men is that one sensitive schmuck would write about it in the Village Boys. Dr. David Rubin, taking the time out to menstruate over the 4th of July holiday, says that women are so much closer to the universe because they menstruate, and therefore they seek out lemon fresh and borax, hairspray, and other womb-related items. And that's why I think we need to talk about masturbation.
Rita, gross me out.
Anyone want some corn nuts? My mom just sent them from Naperville. You can't get corn nuts east of the Mississippi.
I don't think Jermaine Greer has thought this out properly. Know what I think the ideal society would be? If all women had communal apartments. Not poor concrete socialist apartments. I mean an estate, and everyone worked so that childcare was rotated, and the men came to visit on the weekends and were all very nice, charming, bright, all those things that they left on Mondays.
Katie, that's what it's like here.
Well, except my plan doesn't get boring. The men that visit are Arabian millionaires, poets, lumberjacks, not corporate lawyers or MBAs.
Katie, you're a snot rag.
Kate just grew up in Holiday magazine.
I couldn't live in a society like that. I guess I'm just not as strong as you, Kate.
You're a closet wit.
I wanted to be divorced and living with 2 children at Central Park West.
Homie, don't you want to fall in love? I mean, you don't have to get married, but it would be nice to have a passion.
Yes, except if I fall in love, it would be because I thought someone was better than me. And if I truly thought someone was better than me, I'd give them everything, and I'd hate them for my living through them.
You don't really expect to live through someone else, do you?
Yeah, I think I'd really like that.
Careful, Holly. You're too diffuse. You need to concentrate your efforts.
Wanna play a game?
Rita, it's too late in the night for tampon bobbing.
This is a nice game for nice girls. Let's all go around the room and say if we could marry one of us, who would it be?
I've already picked.
That doesn't count. You can only choose from our uncommon pool. Holly, stop sleeping! In a matrimonial situation, I would marry Samantha because I can admire her the longest.
Would you really marry me?
I would, Samantha. You're the perfect woman.
Rita, now I feel badly because I wouldn't have picked you, and it would have been really great if everything worked out.
This is difficult. Because it would be interesting to live with Rita, but Penny probably has the best future.
Well, what about Susie's friend? Oh, you don't marry a girl like that. Too many committee meetings. She'd never be home. Holly, you're sweet and funny, but I couldn't support you, and there'd be a problem at the club. I guess I'd pick Muffet, because she could get on with the outside world and Piglet wouldn't drive her crazy. Also, Muffet's glamorous, but she doesn't scare me. I guess I would be most comfortable marrying Rita or Layla. I wouldn't feel like I had to impress them. But when you get right down to it, I would want to marry Katie. I would consider living through your accomplishments, Katie. And besides, my parents would approve, and at least one of us would get our picture in the Sunday Times. How about you, Katie? Who'd you marry?
I don't know.
That's okay, Katie. You don't have to marry me. I understand. Maybe you have to settle your career first.
I guess I never thought about marrying any of you.
Kate, for a smart woman, you have a stunted imagination.
Well, if I married one of us, I would probably have to be the main income source. That's excluding the possibility of trust funds. So, if I was supporting someone, I guess I'd want to marry Carter.
Carter? Gross me out. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't very nice. I'm sure you'll be very happy together.
Carter is very bright. And besides, if I'm going to be a boring lawyer, then I'd want to be married to someone who would stay home and have an imagination. Besides, Carter would need me. Holly, I'd consider you because you're such a good person, but then that would make me feel a little chilly.
We should celebrate.
What?
Then none of our marriage proposals have been reciprocated.
We don't know that. Maybe Muffy would have picked me.
No, I think if we marry, we'll have to marry outside of each other.
Probably men.
Muffy's out with Pink Pants. She knows she has to marry a man.
I know a great song we can celebrate with and dance to. You think Jermaine Greer remembers the time she danced with her best friends in a women's dormitory at Cambridge?
No, she was probably into dating and makeup.
Katie, you're a good dancer.
I know. I should quit law and become a rock star.
Want to see the way Robert dances?
He's pretty grossing me out.
I've come in to tell you guys I've decided what I want. I want to put Liechtenstein on Pearl.
Carter, that's great. You know what? We all just proposed to each other and Kate said she'd want to marry you.
It was all hypothetical.
Carter, want to dance? Carter, don't you think Katie would make a great rock star?
Carter! Dance with us. Just think how odd this would look if Susie's friend walked in.
You know what? I think when we're 25, we'll be pretty fucking incredible. All right, I'll give us another 5 years for emotional and career development. I think when we're 30, we're gonna be pretty fucking amazing. Oh, don't worry, Carter. You're younger than us, so you have 13 more years.
Hello? Is this Dr. Silverstein? Oh, this is his answering service. Hi, a message. Respect me. I'm a respectable pronoun. Oh, my name is Simone de Beauvoir, and I should be back in an